This is the Q&A for patrons and members for January 2025. And the first question is from Candace Shield. It says, do you have anything you bought that you would recommend for everyone to buy? Interesting question. Like something that like is so effective after you bought it that you're kind of like, this is something that I definitely would want to like recommend to people. Weirdly enough, I think some people don't buy themselves a good set of knives. And I mean for cooking. Maybe just a weird answer, I don't know, but like I know that like beforehand I used to use like one or just two knives, and then like when I bought like it wasn't that expensive. It was just like one of those sets that you can just get like around Christmas time, and I started like it was night and day, because like the difference in like, you know, the utensils you use can be very different. I know it sounds kind of pretentious to be like, oh, when you use better utensils, but for me it was just like that was like one of the things that like a small investment that didn't cost that much that like made the cooking experience a lot more fun and a lot easier to do. And you'll notice like a big difference. Like, you know, I think you can get away with 100% like just using whatever knife, but for me, like getting like a set of knives was actually like something really cool. And again, it wasn't expensive. You can get more expensive ones. Of course, people would recommend you to get more expensive ones if you're doing like serious cooking. But for me, like just for making dinner and stuff like this too, like it has literally just changed my way of looking at things. Another thing is, I think that maybe it's another weird answer. I usually get myself a one like chocolate treat to eat. And usually it's like a chocolate biscuit or a pack of chocolate biscuits. And this is such a weird answer. And I usually enjoy them with a cup of tea. And I feel like what I'm saying is get something that you enjoy enough, if you can, that you can really sit there and relax and still have a good time. I think one of the things that like a lot of people forget to do sometimes when it comes to like enjoying yourselves, that they kind of like, you know, maybe skimp on something, which some people have to sometimes, but like just buying like a packet of chocolate biscuits, a packet of sweets, biscuits or whatever, and enjoying them over the course of like a week or something. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying just to do that. If you want to buy more, you can, but I'm saying that get something that you enjoy in terms of like food, if you can, just to really like have that one thing that like gets you through the day. Do it. Even if it's like a bottle of Fanta, even if it's like something like a donut, something to get you through the day. Like, and again, it's up to you. I know this is maybe a weird answer for this, because again, I don't really buy much products outside of like video game stuff. So really the set of knives and getting something that's kind of like tasty and nice was what I would say. Is that okay? Does that make sense? Maybe? I don't know. The next question is from Malcolm Goday, who said, what characters from games you've played on the channel do you absolutely just despise? For me, it comes to mind like Tori from Genshin, Jimmy from Mouthwashing, or that guy from Danganronpa Ultra Despair Girls. For me, I would say those three are pretty much the same for me. But if I have to think of another character that I just absolutely despise, you know what's really interesting to me? Like, I sometimes don't get like angry at like villains as much as I do at characters that are led away with a lot of stuff. So sometimes you'll have characters that are actually on the hero side, but they get away with being rude or awful or mean. And you find that even later on that they don't even have like that much of like a backstory that makes them like justify their meanness. Because I feel like sometimes when in Genshin, for example, I'll give an example. There's characters in that game that like can be very prickly and very sharp with you. But you find out later there's a reason for that, and you go, okay, that makes sense. So for me personally, it's like I more get frustrated at characters that are not exactly bad, but are characters that get away with being kind of rude or bad sometimes. I think there's a difference between funny rude and funny bad. There's also like characters, and I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a character in a game that I played where he kept betraying the group, and the way that they kind of explained it away, they were like, well, that's just him. He's just a lone wolf. And it's like, well, you can be a lone wolf in a different group. He can be a lone wolf over there. I think as well, another thing that like I get rationally angry at in video games is when a character comes along and all of a sudden a lot of characters like praise him for like no reason. Now here's the thing, I think like it's like people might say, well, Calvin, that sounds like you're jealous, and that's fine if people say that, but I mean more just in the case of just like it's a bad plot device, and it makes me frustrated at everyone involved rather than just a story, when it's like they bring in a character to make your character look less than for a second, but there's no real explanation like fully for why this character is more praised. Now, if another character comes in and they're lovely and they're amazing and they actually are really cool, it's like, oh, that's great. Like that makes sense that we'd be in competition then, my main character and their character. But I always like, I guess it's more frustrated with the writing in that sense though when that happens, because I'm like, man, make it make sense. Like if your character's going to come in and like make everyone not like me, but like you. I want it to be like, oh, I get it. I look at them and I go, I get it. Yeah, I think I don't know if I have specific characters that I just despise, but I think it always, I mean, like, you know, even like Togami from Danganronpa, I don't despise him as much as I used to. But I guess like I hope answering the type of character is okay, because for me it is generally a character that gets away with stuff even though that they shouldn't. A character that's not called out for stuff even though they should be called out for stuff. A character whose bad things are erased from our minds just so we can have this like superficial reuniting with other character. That's who I would despise. I'm sorry I don't have like particular examples. Like the characters you named would be like top of my list. I'm trying to think of one specific answer where I'm like, this guy sucks so bad. Let me just think here. I need one because I know I answered like in kind of like the type of character, but I need one specific character. I'm like, this is just awful. I know for a fact I'll be able to think of it later and I'll feel so stupid. Because I was thinking like it's not a video game, but the show 2125, there's a character in that, and again, I'm not going to spoil the name of the character because it's a big story point, but like I hated them at first, but then I like loved them eventually. Yeah, I can't think of specific characters, but I hope like it's okay giving you the type of character that usually frustrates me. Because really, like, I don't think there's many characters in media that I truly despise, because even I feel like sometimes in villains, like they're not even good enough to despise. That's why I think Dotori's actually a really good villain, because it's like he's really good enough to despise. Yeah, hopefully that's a good answer. Hopefully that's a good answer. It's a great question. It's just that like I think that I'm blanking just because you named the three best ones that you could think of. Honestly, yeah, 100%. The next one is from Luna, who says, "With it still being winter, what is one dish or meal that you particularly enjoyed this time of year?" All year round, I enjoy anything spaghetti, but during the winter times, I think that having a steak and kidney pie with just chips for some reason just is so simple. It's so nice. It just like is really just efficient, and there's something so cozy about it as well. That's just really tasty, and it's so easy to cook and so easy to make. That really is just a comfort food that also has like some like, you know, heartiness to it as well. In terms of like what I like anything else, because obviously steak and kidney pie is super easy to make. It's not about what's harder to make. I know that, but like, I suppose like any time I get to just have like some bread and butter and soup is so nice during winter times. Like any type of just like hot liquid with bread and butter soup. But can I tell you another thing? So I know I'm sidetracking these questions all the time, so I'm so sorry for this. But I also enjoy getting a warm cup of tea, a hot cup of tea. It's my favorite thing in the world. I can't live without tea. And I'm talking about like breakfast tea. I'm talking about like British breakfast tea, like Lion's tea. I know that's Irish, by the way, and Barry's tea. But like you'd probably think of like maybe Lipton or PG Tips and stuff like that as like a tea brand as well. But like tea that is made for just like, you know, putting in a mug, bit of sugar, bit of milk, drinking it off to your head with a bacon sandwich. Oh, bacon sandwich, there you go. Oh, bacon sandwich. I love a good bacon sandwich as well. But yeah, like I hope the answer is okay saying a cup of tea. When I have a cup of tea, I really do feel like it's my favorite time of the day. It's one of those things where I have one in the morning and I feel amazing and it tastes so good. And then I have one at midway through recording, which tastes so good. Then I have one after dinner, which, oh my God, it tastes so good. And then I have one like, and you're probably like, this is probably just crazy to have tea before bed, but I have tea like right before bed. Just having the last cup of tea. And you might be like, Calvin, how do you not wake up because of the caffeine? But for me personally, like I'm so immune to tea now, it doesn't, you know, affect me that much. The only time I notice when I don't drink tea, maybe it is like something I'm dependent on tea now, is that when I don't drink tea, I actually do feel it, like a headache sometimes. So maybe that is, I am too dependent on it. But I drink about 4 mugs a day. I used to drink 3 mugs a day because I was like, I have to limit myself. I have to. But then I was like, what do I do 4? And I've been limiting myself to 4. Not that tea's bad for you, but I do put brown sugar in it. So obviously like I want to like, you know, limit that a little bit. But I truly love tea. So the answer would be bread and butter and soup, steak and kidney pie chips, and a cup of tea. That'd be my answer. Yeah. Meg Bowl says, once you've done with the main HSR story, would you consider making lore reading videos where you go through the character story and voice line entries? It would be fun to dig into the lore and find cool details about our faves. Something I've been talking about on this, it's you know, now everyone's going to see it sometimes. That's the thing. I've just been randomly tweeting about it sometimes or something like that. Is that like, for me personally, like used to love lore videos. I would watch Dark Souls lore videos all the time, and watch those type of kind of like informational videos about like the lore of Dark Souls. And it was mostly Dark Souls. And I hope like, you guys don't mind me being honest whatsoever. But like, I know you guys don't want me to be honest, but like, for me personally, like I watched the Ashikai stuff and it's like, this is really entertaining. This is really cool. But like, for me, I come away from it sometimes feeling like, oh, I kind of want to like look at the lore myself. Sometimes I know like people are gonna say, well, Calvin, you don't actually do that. And that's so true. Like I need to find time to actually like maybe do stuff like that. So the answer I would give is like, I don't know if I would. I know personally, like it's one of those things where like, I would love to like, read maybe datapang entries at the end of like all this stuff as well and things like that. But it's just one of those things where like I kind of like prefer sometimes to go through the lore myself. But then again, the issue always is timing and finding the time. And that's why people suggest lore videos. Cause like Calvin, we know you have like, a 1,000,001 videos to make. So like lore videos might be better than just like, going through all the lore yourself and trying to figure it out that way. The answer is basically, I don't know personally. I know I don't do it for Genshin. Like I have a rule, even Rome Reacts, I don't really watch lore videos in Rome Reacts. But it is a thing where I could down the line like feel like we could do it, but I don't want to promise anything because I feel like then I come away from it then like looking like an ass if we don't do it. But I'd say I have nothing against them. It's just that we might find that doing the lore ourselves a bit might be good. And here's the thing, this is what I'll say. If like I don't end up doing lore videos myself, we can look into doing maybe some lore videos like that. Again, I don't want to promise anything because I know for a fact that like, again, I'd look like an ass down the line if I promise something and then don't do it. But we'll see where it goes. The answer pretty much is that like, I don't usually watch lore videos anymore. It's not really my thing anymore. But if there is like something that people really like want me to see or want me to watch, we can always reconsider. But it is one of those things where like, it's probably going to be the same as it was kind of with Genshin, is that I tend to stay away from lore videos. But it's not because I hate lore videos, it's more just because sometimes I want to figure out the lore for myself. And if you can do that throughout videos, that's great too. My favorite aspect about finding lore in those in any video game and that I do on the channel is that I get to look at the lore, talk about the lore with you guys, and then reassess my opinion afterwards. So I hope that answers it. I think it was a bit shaky, then a bit wavy there and not very clear. The clear answer is pretty much, I don't know. I'm not sure, but I have nothing against lore videos. And thank you for the question. It's a good question, 100%. Leon asks, what are your plans for the next Sonic game? Which one would you like to play next? I have no idea. People keep telling me like a bunch of games. I think if you talk to 20 different Sonic fans, they're going to give you 20 different answers. People have been suggesting to play a game that was like on a console. I don't think it's available anymore. And one of the harder things about that is that like, it's getting people to like, watch a Sonic playthrough as well. Is always like, Adventure 1, Adventure 2 like was fantastic, and so like was Unleashed and all this stuff like, and but I just don't know what I really want to play. I don't know if I want to go completely chronological, but like I think a lot of people suggest me to go chronological. I know I want to play Frontiers at some point. I know everything I've heard about Frontiers. I've heard some of the music from it. I want to play Frontiers at some point. I would like to try. I didn't want to do it before, but I actually want to try and play some of the 2D games. Like originally, I was kind of like, I don't really care about the 2D games, but now I've really gotten into the idea of maybe trying them out at the very least, because they do look like really fun. I think we could play any Sonic game, but like any series, it'd be like one of those things where it's like, oh, let's see how it does. Let's see how people are into it. Sonic Unleashed was super, super fun. Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 were incredible to me. They really were. I think Sonic Adventure 1 I prefer to Sonic Adventure 2 just because some of the levels in Sonic Adventure 2 with Knuckles are like just not my thing. Whereas in the first game, I had no issue with them. But I think Sonic Adventure 1 is definitely... So anything that has the vibe of Sonic Adventure 1 or 2 or Sonic Frontiers, we could try as well. I want to play at some point. And there's also like all the side games like Sonic of the Black Knight and all that stuff too. I have no idea. Really, it's just like one of those things where we're going chronological, or it's one of those things where I just want to play a game that I really want to try, like Sonic Frontiers. If it doesn't ruin the idea of the lore, then I'd probably pick Sonic Frontiers. But if not, if it does ruin it, then we might try and play like maybe like the next Sonic game in the list. But just know that I do like the Sonic games. I don't want to promise how many Sonic games we're going to play this year, because last year I promised like 3. We did play 3 last year, but I feel like promising that many Sonic games this early would be a very silly thing. But yeah, that's my answer to that. Thank you. Floss says, recently you went through your playthrough of the Great Ace Attorney. and enjoyed it. Do you have any future plans to play the sequel or other games in the series like Investigation Duology? Here's the thing. I think I wouldn't mind playing it tomorrow. I think what happened with the first playthrough, The Great Ace Attorney, is like the pacing was really weird for me. And you can see it in the videos, like I had a real issue with the pacing of the first few levels. So I feel like what happened was, because I was a bit down on the idea of the game, even though I really still liked it, I was down on the pacing. I then had this thing where like I think other people were like feeling a little bit down about my commentary in that sense, because I think I harped on it a lot. But I still quite enjoyed the game. And honestly, I think I definitely want to play because I really like the characters. The animations are really amazing. The stories, it was really, really great. The music was fantastic. The, like everything about it was like great. It was really great. It was really, really good. It's just, I think I stayed away from it because I know that they're longer games. Now, people have said though to me that the second game has amazing pacing compared to the first one. And it's way better than like the pacing of the first one, which I think is like a perfect thing to say to me because... again, my main issue with the first game at the time when I was playing it, and it's only a small thing, is that every time it seemed like they were ending a chapter, they would keep going. And it went on really, really long. But I think that got fixed later on in the series, like around chapter 4, around there, where I was like, okay, now we're really ramping up into it. But it was still great. Like the stories were still great. Like I think about that whole thing on the boat. Even though that pacing was weird, it was still really great to me. It was still a really great story. And the characters, again, are so fun, as I said, and I love the designs. The main character is, like, really, really pretty as well. I genuinely would love to play it. It's just that I don't know when. It's on the list. I own it, so we could play it at any time. So that's pretty much what I would say, is that the first game is fantastic. I had, like, a bit of problem with the pacing issues, but I don't think that's a problem with the second one. And it's still a great game, the first one, and I would like to play it. I just have no idea when. I have no idea. Maybe once we go through all the Ace Attorney games and we play some other games, you might like look at it and see exactly, you know, what the vibes are, I guess, when we go into it. Thank you. Elixir21 says, is there any game you're looking forward to in 2026? Resident Evil Requiem is the game I'm looking forward to the most in 2026. Honestly, if I'm being honest with you, like, because I play so many games on the channel, I don't always play games outside of the channel every day. Not because I don't like video games, but because I feel like sometimes I'm just like, okay, look, I played like 6 hours of games on the channel and had a great time. Let's watch some YouTube, you know what I mean? And then some days I'll play video games. Like, for example, I'm playing Tales of Xillia, and like I haven't played for a bit because like there's like, as I said, like in a video recently, there was some personal stuff happening. But I really love that game, and like I love playing games outside the channel. But to me, like Resident Evil Requiem seems like a game I can't miss because it's a game that I love from a franchise I love dearly. I've always been a big fan of Resident Evil. Resident Evil 2 was a game I played when I was younger, and I got so scared that my mother took it off me and said, you cannot play this game, and I kept having to sneak the game out to play it because it's really, really incredible. And then Resident Evil Remake is like, for the GameCube, is like my favorite horror game of all time. So this is a situation like where I do want to play Resident Evil Requiem, of course. In terms of games we can play on the channel, I could play Requiem on the channel, but I'm trying to think of games that are coming out this year that we could play on the channel. See, you know what usually happens, I'll be honest, when, like, Road to Embers Chapter 2 is something I definitely want to play at some point. But I think, you know what usually happens with the channel, and I know it sounds so bad. Usually what happens is I'll see, like, a post on Twitter from someone being like, man, I really love Dispatch. And I'm like, what's Dispatch? And I won't look at it for a bit longer, but like, okay, whatever. You know, it's just someone playing a game or whatever. It's a random tweet. And then I'll see a YouTuber I watch going like, oh yeah, I really like Dispatch. And I'm like, what the hell is Dispatch? And then I'll see another streamer be like, I'm playing Dispatch next week. I'm like, what the hell is Dispatch? And then I finally go into the Patreon chats, what's Dispatch? And then I end up playing it. I'm really not great. I should get better at doing research about games and like looking into games that are like coming out soon and all this stuff as well. But maybe it's funnier that like sometimes I just find a game by going, people are playing this game. Is it cool? You know? Maybe it's cooler and more fun that I'm not on the pulse with stuff like that, but I do like enjoy, you know, looking forward to games anyway. Resident Evil Requiem is a game that I'm so excited for. I haven't been looking at any of the trailers because I just want to play it blind. I might play like an hour of it on the channel, see how I like it, but right now I'm just like really excited to play it even by myself. It's one of those games I will play by myself. I love horror games. I've loved survival horror games since I was a kid, but that is probably my most anticipated game. I also asked, what's one game that you would want to see me play in 2026? And the first answer I got was from Malcolm Kunde, who says, not to sound like a broken record, but I'd love to see you try out Portal. I don't want to spoil it, but it's one of those games that isn't what it seems. There are no jump scares like in this game, but it's scary. It fills you with a sense of uneasiness, like something ain't right. It's very similar to the Stanley Parable with some puzzle elements. Don't worry, it ain't too hard. And it has a great story. It's often regarded as one of the best games of all time. It's extremely popular, and I was quite surprised to learn you hadn't played it or been spoiled about it. I think it fits well in the channel, and it's also very short. It's a game made by the same people who created the Steam Deck, so it's also plays quite well there. Yeah, what happened was when I was a kid, I got an Xbox 360, but then I upgraded to PlayStation, not upgraded, I sidetracked to PlayStation 3. So I gave my Xbox to my sister, who then bought like 2 games for it. And she bought like Portal, and what else did she buy? She bought Portal and Fable 3 for it. And I would often I saw the case, and I think that she didn't like it very much. Not because she's not smart enough to do puzzles, but I think it was just one of those situations where she didn't really gel too much with the idea of it. So I didn't really get to see anyone play it or anything. All I remember is her like moving around a box at one point, and that's all I remember. The reason why I didn't really play Portal at all is because when I was a teenager and a baby, I was a baby when Portal came out, but when I was a teenager, and also then a baby beforehand, my style of games were fighting games, wrestling games, and horror games, and JRPGs. So that was the 4 type of games that I switched between. So there really wasn't any room in my heart for any more games at the time. And I really didn't want to ever play Portal, because for me, it was one of those things where I looked at it and I was didn't look down on it, but I was this isn't really for me. I kind of thought to myself, because the way people described to me was it was like a puzzle game. And at the time, that wasn't really something I was into. But now, obviously, with the channel, I've expanded my horizons beyond stuff I would never usually play. I never used to play visual novels before this channel. So it's all those things that change once you have a different kind of perspective. So I would have no issue playing it. It's definitely on the list, and I definitely want to play it. It's just a matter of when we get around to playing it. I know that it's one of those things that people would definitely want to see me play, and people have been interested in seeing me play. I think what's going to happen is eventually during this year I'm going to put out a post saying hey, what's the vibes on Portal? And I'm going to get a bunch of people being play Portal, and then we're going to play Portal. But yeah, it's a game that I just never get spoiled on and never played, because I never really was drawn to it. Because I sidetracked to the PS3 because legitimately is one of those things where I love my Xbox 360, but I was I got a chance to get a PS3. It was secondhand, and it was for my birthday. And I remember it's because all the JRPGs were on PS3. So I was I'm switching over. Mommy, I'm switching over. So yeah, that's all I remember pretty much of history. But yeah, I have no problem playing Portal. I know people said it's amazing. But yeah, it's definitely on the list at the very least. Luna says, if I had to pick one singular game I would love to see you play this year, it would be one off of your listed potential games, which would be Kingdom Hearts. My God. I'm completely biased in my opinion, and this is my favorite series of all time, and the first game is what got me into JRPGs. While some of the dialogue and storytelling may be a bit clunky at times, the characters have a lot of depth to them, and the interactions with both Disney and Final Fantasy characters is very charming. I heard it's beautiful. With how well you interpret characters and possible motives, I feel like you would get quite a bit out of the story. If nothing else, may your heart be your guiding key. And then they also say, as what I've been up to, after a year of off from my health, I'm back in the endgame rating scenes for Final Fantasy XIV. Okay. They just released the final 4 fights of the expansion and their alternative Savage versions. The Savage is next to the highest difficulty for 8-person battle content in the game, and is usually a fun challenge to try and defeat each of the fights. The raid series for expansion is called the Arcadian and follows the pro wrestling tournament in them. Oh, very cool. I love wrestling. And as for writing this post, my group was recently able to take down the surfing duo known as Extremes, and are trying to take down the undefeated king of Arcadian, the Tyrant. Very cool stuff. Again, I always look at Final Fantasy XIV, and people are always trying to say you should definitely play it. Kingdom Hearts is a franchise that I genuinely enjoy quite a bit of from afar, in terms of knowing that people the people who love Kingdom Hearts usually celebrate it in such a beautiful way. They usually talk about it in a very honest and open and very beautiful way. So it definitely would be something that I wouldn't mind trying, especially since it's always been on my list of things to do. Now, I will say I played Kingdom Hearts, the first game, back in 2018. But I wonder if I should skip it and go straight to the second game, or if I should play Kingdom Hearts on the channel again with like a fresh new perspective. And, you know, we wouldn't really remember all the stuff that's happening in the story anyway. So like a fresh new perspective, like, and have all these new ideals and play it like that. But I definitely would love to play Kingdom Hearts on the channel. It's one of those things that I know for a fact, like, I would love to do. I actually had an idea, which is called the Summer of Kingdom Hearts, where every like June to like at the end of August, we play through all of the Kingdom Hearts games up to that point. So basically, like, for those 3 months we play Kingdom Hearts games on the channel, and then we stop, and then the next summer we play more Kingdom Hearts games, and every year it's called the Summer of Kingdom Hearts, or a Kingdom Hearts Summer, or Sora Summer, or something like that. And it would be like something I definitely would enjoy doing, because again, I know I would love it. I know I would love the designs. I know I would love the characters. I know I would love the music. I know I would love it. And as for Final Fantasy 14, I just always hear about this stuff, and Final Fantasy 14 gets crazier every time I hear about it. I swear to God, the next time you talk about Final Fantasy 14, I'm going to have like this thing where it's like, I'm going to hear someone go, oh yeah, I played Final Fantasy 14 the other day. Oh yeah, what you doing it? We actually like raced dirt bikes around the world and then shot up like this museum. And it's like, okay, that's a pretty crazy game that you got there as well. But I think it's really cool that you have all this like different stuff here as well, especially the idea like something based on a pro wrestling tournament. And also the fact that you're able to play this game, by the way, after a year off, means that it's probably very enjoyable for you as well, coming back to something again with a fresh perspective and a new open mind, which is really, really cool for you, Luna. Yeah, the answer is Kingdom Hearts. I know it's not you're answering my questions, but I would say that, like, yeah, Kingdom Hearts, man. From afar, I've always like admired it, and I admire the fans quite a bit too. I think they're like so vibrant and they love this stuff so much. They love it. Thank you. The next one is from Trashbin, who says, which Spring R on Steam? For what I know, this game isn't very mainstream, but I think it's a cute JRPG. Rune Factory Guardians of Azuma is another one. It's another JRPG with story, but it has similar gameplay to Stardew Valley, where you farm to make money, as well as increasing friendship and with the villagers and having dating options. As for what I've been up to, and I've been pretty much gem grinding, is for Zenless Zone, because characters I want to pull are coming up. I hope you get your characters that you pull for. I've heard of Witch Spring R. Maybe it was you who suggested it, but I've heard of that a few times, and people have said that it's a really cool game, and people said that I would enjoy it. And if it's a JRPG and it's a cute JRPG, I know that I definitely would be into it. And in terms of Rune Factory, I played one Rune Factory, but I don't know which game it was. I played a bit of it. It was on the Switch. Was it? Or 3DS? But I know that people like who play Rune Factory again have like such a high opinion of it and actually adore it. And from what I've seen from those games, I must have been, I think it was like 7 years ago when I played it, but like from what I've seen from the games, they have a really gorgeous art style with some really cool characters. And also like the management of like all the resources and all that stuff. I think it's resource management, right? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game. Is also really cool too. But yeah, it's one of those things where like if it's an RPG, I definitely would like to play it. If it's a JRPG, I would definitely like to get into it, like the cute RPGs. I like serious RPGs, I like dark RPGs, but I love RPGs, so I definitely would like to get into it. And in terms of like Zenless Zone Zero, like man, every time someone mentions Zenless Zone Zero, I'm so excited. I'm so excited to play it. And I know you're grinding for characters, but like even like that, I can't wait to see all the new characters and like see their personalities and hear about them and talk about them. I'm just so excited to do so. And like eventually when we get to do it, it's going to be absolutely awesome. It really will. But yeah, those are great suggestions, especially since they like tailor to like my fancy quite a bit. I love JRPGs, and I would love to play like a big JRPG on the channel or a big RPG on the channel. Because I loved playing like say Last Defense Academy. And that was a great time. So like something like an RPG would be really fun for me, especially in the longer game slot as well. I find RPGs to be very cozy, by the way. I think Dragon Quest XI is like a warm blanket for me, honestly. And I think it is because they are quite long, but also because they have so much beautiful aspects to them. And it's obviously has to be a good RPG that's cozy for me. Like, for example, Dragon Quest XI is so cozy because of the characters, the beautiful world that we live in, all of the amazing music and the world itself. And it doesn't have to be like a really cute RPG to make me feel cozy. Sometimes it can be something like Dark Souls can make me feel cozy as well. And I think it's one of those things you can feel cozy from like a short platformer as well, but there's nothing like, it's different with an RPG. It's different with that length, and I feel like it lets you sit in. So games like this that you said here, like I don't know if they are long, but I think that like even like an RPG in general that's like 30 hours, 20 hours really allows you to rest and sit in the world and be a part of the world. And I think that's a really fantastic thing, honestly, that I really love about RPGs quite a bit. Thank you. Leon says, I would love to see you play Pathologic or My House, WAD. Pathologic is about 3 healers who go to a town in Central Asia, Russia steppe. Each are completely different from one another and run into different social circles. Danny Dankovsky Sorry guys, my voice seems to be going. That's not, by the way, anyone's fault, by the way. I think it's just like maybe I might be getting a cold, but it's one of those things where you don't feel like a cold, but like I know tomorrow will be a cold or something, you know what I mean? And in fairness, it is very cold outside, so that might be it. The pathologist from the city of deletes, Artemi Burka, a surgeon who is indigenous people of the steppe and finds himself slotting back within his people. Clara, a spiritual healer, is a young girl who is... Sorry, I lost the comment like an idiot. Is a young girl who adopted the ideals within... who's adopted and deals with the less fortunate. I'm so bad at reading today. You have 12 days to figure out how to solve the plague and to balance each faction within the town. It's a demanding game that is incredibly difficult, but something worth trying. You play the classic HD game or the Pathologic 2. They aren't sequels to each other. So... Again, this sounds like one of those games that like is probably like a cult classic. It's something that people like really, really love. For me, like I wouldn't mind a game that has like, because I've grown to love games that have like a lot of like tasks and a lot of like different things you have to do all the time. Because while it can be a lot of pressure when you're doing a Let's Play, I think even by myself it's really fun too. So I think when you do Let's Play, it can be pressure for the first few episodes. Then when you settle into it, it actually feels really good. So I wouldn't mind trying something, especially if you have interesting characters and like different dynamics and different factions and different personalities and all that stuff going on too. I think it actually could work out really well. My House WAD is a Doom mod that with some work can run on Steam Deck. It takes heavy inspiration from a novel Mark Z. Danielewski. It was made by a user who says it's a map that's based on the deceased friend's home. That's crazy. By navigating the journal and the house, you will go through a lot of trials and hardships, but it's worth it in the end because happiness is worth fighting for. So it's a Doom mod. Like Doom 3 or like just a Doom in general. But it takes inspiration from a novel and it was made by a user who says it's based on his deceased friend's home. That's probably like that's probably very emotionally heavy, right? That's probably a very heavy idea to base something on your deceased friend's home. Like that would actually like be really difficult for me. But I think that's the whole point of it. It's probably like art, based on like some difficult times and some difficult situations. But I like the idea of like making a mod into a big game. I think that's what happened to like, there were some games like that were used for Half-Life mods, created like big horror games. I think like one of them was like, what was it called? Oh, this really famous game that people played all the time when I was a wee lad on YouTube. They played it all the time, but I forget it was, but they would make mods out of these games too. And Leon also says, I've been watching some tokusatsu shows, particularly Kamen Rider. Well, my sister and I have been watching the Sentinel version of the Power Rangers Dino Thunder, which has been a lot of fun. After I'll probably go back to Kamen Rider since I've been wanting to show her Skin Kamen Rider, the film made by Hideki Anno, the creator of Evangelion. I actually used to watch Power Rangers with my sister as well. We used to watch Wild Force. And I remember the last episode of Wild Force, we were screaming our lungs out. And I remember my mom was like, why are you screaming? And we were like, it's Power Rangers. And she was like, since when did you fucking watch Power Rangers? I remember it so clearly you were saying that. But yeah, it's a very fun idea. And Power Rangers is very fun in general. But yeah, I never watched Dino Thunder though. And I never seen Kamen Rider. But I think you talked about Kamen Rider a few times actually. So like I think it was in the anime chats you talked about Kamen Rider and you've been watching Kamen Rider. But watching anime is really fun, and watching anime with friends or any other people is really fun too. I actually used to watch Attack on Titan with my friend and we used to absolutely adore it. Really great stuff. Really great hearing from that. And I hope you have fun watching Kamen Rider, honestly. Thank you for sending us in. That's going to do for this Q&A and community video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry if my voice is a little bit weird today. I feel great, but it's one of those things where, like, every once in a while you think, like, is a cold coming on? And if there is a cold coming on, don't worry, I will rest, and you'll hear me resting 100%. Because I feel fantastic. My voice feels fantastic, but it's one of those things where I can hear my voice. And I'm like, is it cold season? Is it cold time? But we'll see. If you want to ask questions, it will be at a certain tier on the membership. You can see that down below on YouTube and also on Patreon. If you want me to ask you a question for the community video, it's also at the community tier, which is a little bit higher, and you can check that out as well. I want to say thank you to my patrons Tyfar2, Jamie Bull, Johnny the Banana, The Ghost of Nizuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Radish, Nusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Casparian, Jared Beanham, Neo Showerite, and at the highest tier on my YouTube, Royal Gamer 7, Blasco, and Lucinagi. See you guys soon. Bye-bye.